with a African proverb.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
I chose two proverbs again. I think they coincide directly in terms of our efforts and what even transpired today and what has been transpiring with the cleanups and our work. This first proverb actually was written by Hotep in 2340 BC, just to be able to show that the people have been people for a long time. And it really just says, make no distinction in your behavior between those of rank and the common people. It says, make no distinction in your behavior between those of rank and the common people. And again, this was written by Hotep 2340 BC. And it's so prevalent to what we are doing today. One of the things that our president, Stanley Crawford, has been continually saying, that there's no big I's and no little U's here. And we are a number of organizations that have come to partake in or be a part of the Black Male Community Council, run from the NAACP, Nicetown Community Development Corporation, the 100 Concerned Black Men, Mothers in Charge, Nation of Islam, Triumph Baptist Church. All these organizations are coming together for the one purpose, to ease the pain of violence in our community. The second proverb I wanted to share today, again from West Africa, it says, it is often said, we are. Do not say, I am. It is often said, we are. Do not say, I am. This is a we situation. It ain't about I. It ain't about the individual. It's about us. And I'm so happy that I wasn't at the cleanup this morning, but when I called Stan, his energy was like off the chain in the phone. I could hear it in the phone, and how proud he was that all of our brothers showed up and they was out there cleaning at 16th and Winghahawken on Germantown Avenue, and he was even more excited about the young men that were there, and that he talked to them, and they are going to join us and be a part of what we're doing. So great. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay, Najee will do the welcoming.
Salam alaikum. Peace be unto you, my brothers. We a little light today, I understand. It's 70 degrees. There's a lot of people probably went out enjoying the sun, but that's all right. I want to thank for those who participated, boots on the ground today. It was a very successful event. In fact, the police officer was coming by giving us the thumb up. They were saying it's a good job. People all around the community was driving, slowing down, looking. They knew what was going on. And, we was out there among other communities as well. Who was out here for the first time? Besides our Captain Anthony Muhammad from my 12. Thank you, Brother Anthony, for coming today. We had a very good time last week. Me, Brother Leroy, Brother Stan, and who else? That was it. And myself, which was a beautiful gathering, and by Brother Anthony, Captain of Mosque Number 12, being here today, it shows that we do want to do something about the community. And once again, thank you, Brother Anthony, for coming. Welcome.
Thank you. Brother George.
Brother George, I'm sorry. Yes, sir.
Good evening. Good afternoon.
Good evening. Yes, sir.
My name is Brother George Stevenson. I said we.
Put the camera on.
Work for
yes,
the
sir.
office of City Council Woman Cindy Bass.
Oh.
I work for Councilwoman Cindy Bass and carry the Nicetown
Yes, sir.
CDC development know about our office. My participation in the office is I'm handling trash. So I'm the trash czar in the 8th Councilmanic District. So our mission is to clean up the 8th District. So when I witnessed today with the young men from youth, what group was that?
Men in charge.
Men in Charge. And then I met Brother Stanley today about you guys. So I said, let me come and find out what's going on, how we can help to become a part of this. I also run a nonprofit organization. Now, when you saw me come in here, what did you think?
You a singer?
All right.
Yes, sir.
So my organization is called Real Men Speak, and it's a nonprofit organization that we teach young men how to dress.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay? We do the etiquette thing.
Right.
So I'm representing what I do.
I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you because
You want that jacket?
I want to do
I just represent what I do.
I want to do some ways on the way to buy your jacket.
So what we do is we teach them how to tie a necktie, how to shine a
Okay.
pair of shoes.
Yes, sir.
We teach them language, how to present themselves. So when they walk into a room, they'll command
Respect.
respect
Right.
because of
yes.
the way they walk in. And then when they open their mouth, they're gonna be able to say something that makes sense.
Right. Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's a joint effort in the etiquette department that we put together. So hopefully we can work or become partners, because I think that the Black Male Community Council would be a good fit for us, to be able to instill some of these traits into our young people.
Yes, sir.
As far as the office is concerned, we'll be able to help out in any area that we can,
Yes, sir.
okay? So that's who we are.
Right.
I like that proverb.
Before you sit down, give us a 12-second song, brother.
A 12 seconds time?
Yes, sir.
God is.
Yes, sir. All right. For all who had came out and all that is here, let's give everybody a warm round of applause. We put it back in the hands of our brother Stanley Croft.
Okay, I'd just like to say a couple of things. Brother Anthony, Captain Anthony, has expertise in security. And that's one reason why we asked Captain Anthony to come, because when we out there doing what we're going to do as far as boots on the ground security, we need someone who has that expertise, so we do it in a proper manner, number one, and an effective manner, number two. So that's why I was glad that Captain Anthony came, because we don't have all the answers, so we need to call on the many of our brothers that got the answers to assist us so we could do what we want to do in the most effective manner. So we thank you, Brother Anthony.
Thank you.
And Brother George, when I talked to Brother George about what we were doing, and we had a long, lengthy conversation, his enthusiasm was just as you just seen just a minute ago. And also when I was glad because like the Creator is sending us the help we need that we don't have. And this is an example of the Creator sending us the help. Because when we reach out to these 5 areas, Brother George said he can help us organize the stakeholders. You see what I'm saying? That was a missing piece of the puzzle. So we thank both of you guys, man, and you appreciate you guys coming in and helping us to do what we need to do. Also, we like to always start out with our vision and mission statement so we don't get off track of why we're here and how we intend on doing what we say we are about. The Black Male Community Council of Philadelphia mission statement. Our mission is to unite as black men in the city of Philadelphia for the purpose of providing a clean, safe, and secure environment for the women, children, and elders of our community. Through membership and leadership that will embrace our community with their presence and resources that will uplift and empower targeted areas of our community. Vision statement. Our vision is to promote public safety and community empowerment in the black community of Philadelphia. We are a community service organization engaged in employing strategies that will stabilize those targeted areas that need our services. And that's basically what we're doing with the vision and mission statement. Keeping with the agenda, I learned that not to produce as many as I've been because a lot of it is wasted paper. So what I've done, I've printed out some agendas, and I'm gonna also pull it up on the screen so we can follow the agenda and take care of our business. This is and this is the call out. But I'm gonna also pull it up here. I heard you, Gamal. Okay. Okay, as always, I always like to deal with the finances first. Because that is one of the things that really create problems with a lot of organizations. So what we're gonna do, and keeping with the agenda, let me see. Okay, here's the financial report.
Here's the agenda.
The mission statement.
You got that in the packet right there. In the packet right there.
Okay, that's pretty much the financial report as you see up here on the screen. And membership donations on the 23rd, which was last week, was $60. Total merchandise sold last week was $125. Balance on hand as of 3/25 3/23 was $340. Total on hand after the donations and the merchandise was $525. Total merchandise on hand, which is the sweatshirts, was 8, which is times 25 is $200. And total merchandise on t-shirts, 61 t-shirts at $10 per is $610. Total merchandise on hats was 4 hats, and that was 4 times 15 is $60, which gives a total merchandise on hand as of today, $870, which don't include what was sold today. What was this for?
Donation, I wrote it down.
Okay, great. Okay, so that's the financial report. Any questions or discussion on the financial report? Okay, if there's none on the financial report, the next one on the agenda is the call out in hotel. Okay, I got great news in reference to the call out. For those who don't have the form, I put in there in hotel with Charter School, which is located at 6201 North 21st Street. I spoke with Deborah Moore, the administrative associate, on yesterday. I should have put yesterday. Yesterday was the 29th.
Right.
So the date is wrong on this. She stated that we have the date for May 11th to use in hotel for our call out. She said that she had to check with one more person before the finalization of our use of the building. But for all intents and purposes, it seemed like that's a go. And if anything should change between now and next week, I'll let everybody know. But she was very sure that that date would be okay for us, and that's a great thing.
May the 11th.
May the 11th.
Yeah.
And the minister first day? Okay, that's a good day.
You can have a call out and just say happy birthday.
And this, we want to just go through this because this is a very important, this is going to be the most important, one of the most important days that we have as an organization. So this is where we're going to need all hands on deck and all boots on the ground for our first call out. And like the call out basically is to share all the work that we've been doing over the last few months, right? But the primary thing of the call out, the purpose of the call out, is to get brothers to sign up, number one, and number two is to collect the data, because by collecting the data, then we'll be able to have the ability to logistically put people where they're at. Like for instance, if we have the call out and we got the 5 locations, somebody comes and say, I want to work in South Philly, then we know where your interest is at. I'm available Monday from 7 to 9. We know what time and what date you're available. So by gathering that type of data and statistics, when we get to the logistics of it, we can start to dispersing manpower when and where is needed. Somebody say, well, I'm here, I would like security, right? So then we know your interest in security, so we can put all of this data and statistics together. So when we had the boots on the ground activity, we'll have it in an organized manner. So that's why it's very important. This is going to be one of the most important days. And just to go over it again with us, meet and greet, for lack of a better term, would be from 10 to 12. But also during this meet and greet time, this is where we all going to come in at, because as people are coming in, we're going to be the ambassadors for this particular program. And then as we do be the ambassadors, sharing whatever position we play, we want to be able to know, and that's another thing. As we organize the call out, we have to really be organized in what position each one of us going to play in the call out. You see what I'm saying? So if you look through here, we got from 10 to 12, for lack of a better term, meet and greet. And also we want to collect data. That's why the sister Maimona was here, and we want to have at least 5 or 6 stations set up where we could be collecting data also during this particular time. And so we're going to be working on making sure we have 5 or 6 stations with laptops, and people can enter, give us their information as then. And then at 12 o'clock, we want to actually start, quote unquote, the program. And the program would basically be a pretty simple program. We're going to have an imam, a pastor, or somebody to actually do a prayer, because we always like to open up with prayer. And then just do a little spill, not a sermon, but a spill on, you know what I mean? So we let them know we want a spill, not a sermon. You know, so that we give them 10 minutes and they do their little spill and stuff, and we keep it moving. But here's the key. And the keynotes, right? Now, because we actually trying to hit the brothers in their spirit. You see what I'm saying? So we need to be able to really have the ability to share some experience with them. And that's why we asking Zachariah to be the male aspect of why we coming together. Because all these murders and all this stuff and the violence and everything that we want to stop, if you hear his story about losing 2 of his sons, not 1, he lost both of his sons to murder. Right. And then, so that's, and I was at Imhotep, and Mama Debbie says they have a young student there that just lost their father to murder this year. I don't know how articulate he is, or even if he would be willing, but somebody like that, so the brothers could hear the pain, the pain and agony of losing a father to murder. And then also we have like Dorothy, most people know her, Mother's in Charge. And she's been doing a great work for a number of years. And I was up in New York with her, me and Najee, we went to New York. And I'm telling you, the way Vanetta introduces Dorothy, and her spill is a heart-wrenching spill by itself. But when she comes on, the combination of them two, if you got any heart at all, you're going to say, sign me up. You have to be real cool not to say, I want to help this effort. So this is what this particular portion of the call-out would do with a father, a young person, and a female that have experience, but maybe some of the audience might have not experienced, or some might have experience. So we can have the ability to let them know why we doing it and what's the urgency of why we doing it. So that's that, and that would be from 12:10 to 1 o'clock. And then I always say this, I ain't joking. Kofi could sell ice to an Eskimo and get a tip. And get a tip. So we will be like the closer and give the audience what gave the impetus to the Black Male Community Council of Philadelphia. And that's basically what the program gonna be. We're gonna, do that and do the spill. And then we have a question and answer portion, right? But the most important thing is to collect the data, use the data, program, and that's what the basically what that day is gonna look like.
Yes, sir.
And did that make sense to everybody? Any discussion, any question?
I like to just want to answer. And then after the data, that's when the work is really going to begin. Right. Brother Anthony, it wasn't mentioned to you. Maybe Brother Leroy had said it to you, and I passed it. I don't know. But there's going to be a training period. Okay. Right. We need to have a training period for each of these aspects. Yes, sir. Even the cleanup. Right. Not that we got to teach anybody how to push a broom, but we have to be able to let the folks know that it's going to represent us, the type of attitude that they have to have in those hot spots in those communities. Absolutely. Right. So, and education the same way. Right. At least there has to be an orientation on who is going to provide education. This brother right here, that's behind you, right? He is Yusef. Yusef has written out. He's chairing the education committee. They wrote out a plan.
10-week syllabus.
Right. I wanted you to be able to understand this, Brother Anthony, that this brain trust that comes here, that has been coming here every Saturday, we have created the plan. The plan is in order and ready to be implemented. But I'm so glad that you're here and other brothers that are coming, that God is sending us, and I believe that, right? So that we can really do the right things for those people that are going to come to work. Yes, sir. Because as Stanley has said, May the 11th is not a talking head situation, right? The plan is in order. Right. Even on the palm card that we're going to create, it's going to say, "Come, hear the plan and sign up." So this ain't about none of the other stuff. Okay, so but I wanted you to be able to understand that the work has been completed in terms of the plan in each aspect of what we're saying: security, education, mediation, and education. Right? Now we just need to implement. Okay, so understood. Okay, great.
But I had a question. The 5 areas of the city.
Right.
And do we have like specific locations in the 5 areas?
Yeah.
I don't know which ones they are.
So far, one of the areas is the 16th and Wigan Highway.
Right.
12th and Huntington. 16th is Susquehanna Avenue. What's the name of that? 58th and
56th in Lansdowne.
no.
Southwest.
Southwest.
Angora
Angora Terrace.
Terrace.
Angora Terrace.
Yeah.
And we looking for a spot in South Philly.
Right. And I just talked to, if any of you are familiar with the Chestnut Brothers, Alan, Tyrone Chestnut.
Yes, sir.
Right. For those of you familiar with them, they've been in the struggle for a long time. They have a song called "Stop the Violence" that has been used a lot in a lot of different movements. Alan Tyrone, they're going to be here next week, but Alan Tyrone are from South Philadelphia, and Stanley and I was on the phone with him before the meeting, and he's identified an organization in South Philadelphia that is doing this work, and he's quite confident that they're going to come to the table, so we can be able to identify what that location is in South Philadelphia and already have an organization that'll tie to us. But that doesn't mean that anybody in the room that has a contact in South Philadelphia that has an area that we need to list, and that's fine. But at least again, I'm just so happy. These things are just coming. So it's a beautiful thing.
I'll get to you, Gamal. One thing that is beautiful so far is that we know at least three of the hot spots we're gonna work it in. We already got people with boots on the ground. Right. So we're not going in cold into these particular at least these 3. When we go out, James is out south. He's out southwest at Angora Terrace. But we're gonna go next week and introduce ourselves by being a part of the cleanup that's gonna take place next week.
Is that cleanup? I know
Citywide.
that Muslims for Humanity just did a cleanup at Angora Terrace last week, and so I don't know if whoever is out there is in contact with them or not. And I don't know what I know that they did it once. I have no idea what their consistency is, right?
James.
James, who's James?
Yes.
Yeah. So, James. So, do you know about them? I know you're in the back there getting that pie. Yeah. He ain't trying
It's
to.
excellent, bro.
He ain't trying to hear nothing. That pie.
I'm just saying now. But now listen now. This particular place is I went in, was going to the dentist, and I seen they was having a fair. And then I turned around, they cleaning up the block. Now the block consists of Walnut, Spruce to Walnut, 58th to 59th, that block. That's what they doing. But when I was talking to him about it, I said, well, look, I just happened to was wearing my hat or something in reference to us. And I was breaking it down to the sister who works as a doctor, I think, work at the clinic there, right? Because it's a clinic, medical center right there too.
Okay.
And they having a fair, a big fair in the schoolyards. Then I seen then I turned around and they cleaning up the block. I said, wow. They clean up the block. I said, that would be a nice, in Southwest Philly. It's not that far from Angora Terrace. Okay?
Right around the corner.
It's right around the corner, really, right? So I said, well, this is a good, and she said we could have the microphone at the fair, I guess, right? So we can explain, have one of our spokespersons.
Is this for next week?
April 6th.
Okay.
But this is citywide cleanup next Saturday.
What, right. What is their time on they doing
I
it?
think they said 9. I got the thing at home 9:30 though, but I will call because I got it at home. I mean, I got it.
Call me and I'm gonna give it to Stan.
Okay.
Yeah, because we cleaning up our part down there
With the citywide cleanup.
with the citywide cleanup.
Probably the same thing.
But it's probably the same thing, they ain't doing it all over, but I wanted to stretch it out so we can come support him. Cause I don't know what they cleanup is, did they order the supplies
See,
or what they did?
We don't really need that many of us.
With the citywide cleanup, it's whoever's out there because I did citywide cleanup before. And whoever's out there, they got boots on the ground, they got everything organized. When you go out to the citywide cleanup, it's somebody out there already organizing that particular cleanup for that particular area. I think what happens with us if we go out there, whoever of us can make it, we can introduce ourselves to and find out who is the stakeholders, and this way we have an introduction and we can move forward. And so that's why next week will be good for us. Not so much that we want to be all overly involved, but we at least want to be out there, let them know who we are, and let them know we're intending on coming out there and do what we're going to do. So that'll be our introduction to that particular location.
I just want to reiterate this, that it will not be redundant, what we do. And this is the reason why. Most of these situations, like the city, it's a once a year hit. These other organizations that are doing cleanups, it's a once a year hit. What we are proposing is even our first attempt will be a 90-day journey. Consistency. Our motto has been constant consistency. Is that right? Am I correct?
Consistency.
Say that again.
It's a double verb, but we say we want to be consistent and being consistent.
Thank you very much.
Consistency.
All right, consistency. Whatever that is, I'll get it together.
Constant
Consistency.
Constant. That's what I said. Consistent consistency. Thank you very much.
Almost like singlet, then a plural.
But my point is that for a long time, I haven't heard of constant consistency in the manner in which we propose to implement.
Yes, sir.
90 days.
Right, good.
And after that 90 days, then we'll take an evaluation
That's right.
of what has been done.
That's right.
The cooperation with the right agencies, the city, the police, behavioral health, whatever that is, being able to be connected through a political process, right, will enable us to really be able to marginalize and be able to see what our outcomes and how we've achieved those outcomes. That's the key. That's what, at the end of the day, after we do all of this, that's what's important. How do we come back with those outcomes? And then what we do with those outcomes to move even further into our mission. So I just wanted to be able to say that.
Okay, there was one portion
Brother Anthony?
of the call out that I forgot to cover. And after we do our spill, we want the steering committee leaders of the committees to share with the audience what each committee is about, so they can have an understanding what security is about, what mediation is about, what education is about, and what cleanup is about. So, if I don't know if you made a commitment or not, Brother Anthony, but if I know we need somebody of your caliber for that security person, and I'm not putting you on the spot, but
Yes, sir. We definitely. I'm committed.
Yeah.
I have staff and people that's professional at what they do with security, with dealing with the proper handling of people, because you got to know how to talk to the people in the street, and how to, so like you said, there's no problems between us and those and people that we have going out there in the street. That training is definitely necessary.
And also, what's important about this too, and Brother Leroy, I was blessed to be in a mediation with Brother Leroy, and his skills in mediation would dumbfound me, because I wouldn't have known what to do had not I watched what he was doing, right? And how important it was to be able to watch what he was doing. So, for instance, if we have we have we do have 5 hotspots. We just need one more.
I have one more for you, but
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. So say for instance, each one of them hotspots, we identify someone who have that not the expertise, but the ability to be taught, so they could teach those in them hotspots.
Right.
So we had to have the teacher to teach the teachers,
That's
so we
right.
could teach the people.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So out of this steering committee would come the teacher that would teach the teachers.
Right.
So when we go to these 5 hotspots, we're not out there just shooting off the hip.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's why that's important. And I got to give Yusef a shout out, because I know he got to go. But Yusef had put together a curriculum, man, that makes the education, like Brother George was talking about, and I know you guys got to get together, because that's another thing. You know what I mean? We already got a 10-week syllabus that Brother Yusef put together. So when we doing this roundtable discussion at whatever location with the young brothers and with the males of the community, he put a syllabus together that makes sense. So we're not even just inviting young brothers to come from 7 to 8:30 just to sit down and sip tea.
Right.
We're going to be there educating, communicating, and enlightening ourselves and our young brothers. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of time I hear people say the young brothers and the old heads, and they separate us, but our process will bring us together.
Right.
And now we come together. What we're going to do when we come together, that's why I was so excited today to see the young brothers from that organization, Men of Courage, and George. No, who was that? That was the leader. What's his name?
Taj.
He was talking to a young 15-year-old, and the young 15-year-old was telling him that he's interested in being an electrician.
Right.
The communications was that he was listening to Todd, right? And that was an opportunity when we move forward, that we could start leading and guiding our young brothers in where they're interested in. You see what I'm saying? And to see him really interested in listening to the brother, and the only thing was missing, he didn't have an electrician at that particular time that he could refer him to. But as we move forward, that's the stuff that we're talking about doing. You see what I'm saying? So.
And now that you said that, and I think one of the things that's going to be crucial when we call these people out is these sign-up sheets.
Right.
What is your background? Are you willing to share some of your electrical experience? Maybe just do some type of apprenticeship one-on-one with this kid when you might go do some side job. Because that's where a lot of money at, is doing some of these side jobs, and you could just tag along and learn and get that one-on-one mentoring that we can do part of education too. So I think when we put together this sheet, when these people sign up, ask them what their occupation is. What are your hobbies? What can you bring to the table besides just boots on the ground?
You know what I love about you, man?
What?
You're always ahead of the game.
I'm just saying.
And I'm gonna tell you why. Right? I'm gonna tell you why. I want to urge everyone: if you do not have the plan for each aspect, I said this last week. If you do not have the plan for security, if you don't have the plan for mediation, education, and cleanup, talk to our leader so he can email you or give you the plan. Everyone in this room in the Brain Trust, this is the Brain Trust, this is the steering committee. Everyone here needs to digest those plans. You need to take the time, take 10 minutes, read the plans. Study it. Because on the day of the activities, this is important, the day of the activity, and we got 500 guys, and they come to anyone that has your hat and your T-shirt on, and they ask you bloop blah blah blah, you better be able to answer them. It's just that simple, right? Study the piece. Now I'm going back to my good brother here. Now we were here other week. We gave a presentation. Stanley gave a presentation in terms of our process. This 90-day do for self from the muscle piece is our first piece. The second piece is a comprehensive human service development project called Project Uplift that will provide job training, job placement, education, attitude adjustment, how to dress for success, how to do all of those things as a part of what Project Uplift is. The third phase that's attached to that is another project that Rochelle Bellel brought to us that immediately puts us in service and in conjunction with the other city agencies that need to be a part of what we're doing. The police department, behavioral health, whatever other services that are there, the gas company, whoever it is, right? And so we have taken the time to have short-term goals and long-term goals. The short-term goals is boots on the ground, all hands on deck. We are putting the proof in the pudding to the community in terms of who we are. Pure and simple. 90 days. 90 days, after 90 days, there will not be an agency in the city that will not understand who the Black Male Community Council is. And the collaboration that we have with so many different organizations to take away the pain of the violence that's in the community. That's the mission. Right now, okay. All right, so.
Can I just ask a question though?
Go ahead.
Listening, I know that I do a lot of youth in different programs, and without reading your proposal and your outline in 90 days, my question is everyone here cleared with paperwork for child agencies?
We're not there yet.
Okay.
Right, okay.
So
And
this is
our
what I
focus is-
suggest. This is what I
I got
suggest.
your question.
While we're moving to the direction, I have enough information to give out, to go to these sites, to get your clearances, because you're dealing with youth. And for one-on-one or group gathering, those clearances are gonna be crucial.
I want to stop you right there. This first boots on the ground in 90 days, we're looking for men. We're going after men. We're not dealing with the youth at this particular point. But your point is, this is in terms of exactly, no one under 18. Your point is well taken, because we've had this discussion before as it relates to making sure when we're at that point that we have those clearances. So you coming to the table again is a godsend, so we can make sure we got our I's across our T's when we get to that point.
That's right.
Go ahead, Camille.
Yeah, now, I want to go back a little bit. And I thank the brother, just like you said. And I thank the creator, because a lot of times when we all on the same page and same energy, somebody will say something that somebody else be thinking. And I want to go revisit when you were talking about having stations, because I envision these stations with laptops. Now, and I may just be saying this kind of biased because of me. I'm not all of that computer literate like that. If you get 10 people in front of me and me trying to put that data in, it ain't gonna happen. So I think we better off with just the forms and have people give out the forms, fill out the forms, because I can do 20 forms versus one person at a time trying to fingerprint that information in the laptop.
Well, thank you, and we had that discussion, and we're gonna have it right now as we speak. We had a young lady here, Maymuna. That technical knowledge that we need with that, we're gonna seek out the young folks who have the dexterity,
Yes, okay.
the intellect, and the capacity to get data,
Okay.
because we already went through that, and we're hoping that Imhotep would have the laptops, and hopefully we could use some of their students to do the data collecting on the laptops. And we also got to be we also say that we're gonna also give a little stipend.
Okay.
So hopefully that would, because you also have some brothers that's and we don't want to embarrass nobody who might not have the reading skills to even read an application, and they might be reluctant to even come aboard. But if you give them some information on a laptop with somebody else is entering, we could capture that information too. Yeah.
So we can probably have options, make it optional.
Correct.
A person that might want to go talk to the people with the laptop, and some people that may want to fill an application out.
Correct. So we don't. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I talked to Commissioner a few weeks ago and asked him about the different hot spots that they had. I think it was the project that they have going, pen areas or something like that. But in South Philly, the 17th district, in between 26th and 32nd, Wharton and Tasker, it's a lot of fueling going on up there. I do know a brother that's boots on the ground down in that area. So I'll, reach out to him. Y'all might know him. His name One Punch.
I heard him.
I heard you.
Sound familiar,
Yeah.
He sound like a one punch.
Yeah.
Look like somebody you over to meet at
Right.
One punch, he ain't get the name for nothing.
Yeah, you get it for nuts. That's right. I'll check on that.
Meet him.
Bring him to the table so you know who he is.
Put him on our side.
I wanna discuss one more thing on these things, but not to harp on it. Like if we got the paperwork and we up there asking these people with tables to fill out the paperwork, and we checking it's filled out, we can pass it down to the next people filling them in. So they ain't got to stand there and go over each line. They just got the paperwork. We done reviewed it. It's good. We gonna interact with them right then and there. Cause you might got somebody that can't read or write or might need some help with some stuff. So that's what we did at the tables as greeters too. And I think the greeting part is real important. You know what I mean? To shake a person's hand. I think also too, we need to have some type of name pinned on and the sticker, so when they come in and they see somebody, you ain't gotta ask them their name and keep asking them. Their name is right there. So we can greet each other for who they are, you know what I mean? And then have them fill it out, keep interacting. We push the paperwork to the people on the laptops. You know what I mean? So they ain't gotta deal with no people, just push it right there. That's the idea.
No, I think that we need to do both.
Both, okay,
Both. That's what Stanley was saying, we're gonna do both.
Okay.
You said?
Two things I got to break, but one, syllabus is subject matter. I have content, but I want the men to provide content. Like I said earlier, there are things that allows you to transform your own values and made you stand erect or you became awoke. Whatever that is, we want to incorporate that so that our authenticity when we're doing the roundtable discussion is not undermined by something that seems to be so crafted. And two, Brother Azim Muhammad, I'm sure some of you brothers may know who he is.
Oh, yeah.
He's expressing interest. A friend of mine cut me into, I don't know the brother, So he cut me into him when I explained what we were doing. And unfortunately, he couldn't be here today because he had to run back to Pittsburgh. But Brother Azim has expressed an interest and want to know what it is we're doing. And I don't know how far his interest goes, but the fact that he's expressed an interest means that we rally in all the members of the community under the same umbrella.
Beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Great.
Great.
You said he's gonna be here next week?
The brother that
Azim.
introduced me to him is going to be here.
Okay.
I'll talk to Brother Azim. We talked last night only briefly, and we got disconnected and wasn't able to reconnect. And I'll speak to him in course and see where his head is at and exactly what his interest is.
Yeah, because when we did the roundtable discussion, right, and we had topics for all three roundtable discussions, and the topic was the impetus for the discussion.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? And
Yes.
then we was able to hear each other and get that viewpoint.
Yes.
That the topic was they gave the meat to the topic.
Yes.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm asking is that the men just bring their
Your men, your committee.
no.
Because
Wait a minute
listen,
here.
listen.
No, I got the committee part. We gonna handle our end, but I'm saying the brain trust has value that they can bring to the table before we over the course of the 90 days. It ain't like
Okay, I got you. I got what you're saying.
They come modify
Okay,
the list.
I got you. I got you.
Let me ask you a question, you said.
Because in our own stories, I'm telling you, I mean, you know, we got things that turned us around or influenced us in terms of shifted our values from those of us that was in the street, from being the street dudes to the men that begin to understand, to respect our elders, honor our women, and protect our children. The things that happen in your life that turned that around. I mean, somebody could have got killed that you and him was out there putting something in, and that was the eureka moment for you.
Me and George had that discussion as we was out there with each other, introducing ourselves. The first time I met George was today. It's almost like we know each other now because we shared exactly what you're saying.
Yes.
I know a little bit about him, and he know a little bit about me. And as we continue to, that's why that 90-day boots on the ground is going to be very, very important, because that 90 days and these different various activities is going to bring all of that out amongst ourselves and amongst the people we're going to be serving.
And it's going to resonate all the way across the planet. I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying? The type of impact that we have, and when we're saying that the black man is going to the black neighborhood and he's going to make the black neighborhood safe. That's what we're saying.
It's fantastic.
I mean,
Let me ask you a question, man.
we have any impact in that way, where we can look at the numbers of the homicides dropping, crime precipitously dropping, then it's going to make the statement that needs to be made that we can take care of our own.
We can take care of our own.
In terms of capturing, in
That's
terms,
the only thing we want to be established. I mean, we want a lot of things, but we, the black male, period,
Can take care of them?
can take care of their own.
so my question to you is, in order to capture the data, in order to capture those stories that you just talked about, should we create in your opinion, at least a questionnaire or a form that we can pass out to the Brain Trust and see what comes back? Or do you want this to be more organic?
More who?
Organic. Or natural in
It
terms
can be a
of,
combination of the two. For the
Okay.
men that understand structure like that, they wanna sit down and go ahead and put something together, let them put it together. For the men that just come straight from the street and, develop their social and political skills, like coming through the party or coming through the nation or whatever the case may be, they can bring that to bear.
or even if they took the time and had a tape recorder and just spoke into it, that would be sufficient as well.
Well, that would be for them. I don't wanna get to the meetings and we start plugging in.
No, I'm saying that they would do that individually. I'm not saying they do
Yes,
it
yes,
here.
all that will work, but the only
Yeah.
point that I was saying about that is that when we get into the flow of this discussion, it's gonna be organic and it's gonna be hot and heavy, hopping from subject to subject. And to sit down and look at a tape recording, to listen to a tape recording that is not by design structured from an educational point of view. The Willie Lynch letter, for example, that we got various educators who can sit down there and quantify that and walk it through history in terms of where it did this and did this and did this. They used it in the islands, they used it in Georgia, they used it here, and these are some of the results. So that's more of a structured educational format. But for me to sit down and explain to them, you know, the first time that I run up into the police station and say, and I'm going in there to tell him my pop, because he just bust my mom up. But I'm street. I'm 11 years old. I'm hardcore street. Me and my pop just went through the physical thing. He bust me up real bad, made me jump out the second floor window. I break to the police station. When I run up to the rail, hit the rail, and the big old fat white man looked down at me and said, "Well, what you need?" And I looked up and seen that was the police. I said, "I can't go tell the police on my dad." You know what I'm saying? And I left. But that's organic. That's
Right.
something that I would do right there in the moment,
Right.
and not have the kids sit there and listen to it coming up on the tape.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, because it allows you to pivot into all their emotions and their curiosity.
Right. Because there's somebody now, at this time, going through the same thing. Now they think the times has changed, but how do I deal with that now?
Yeah.
Maybe they can come to talk to you.
Yeah.
Talk to somebody from the middle. How do I deal with this? So we give them another avenue to go out, talk to this, and maybe handle the situation without going to the cops.
So, okay, so then I got
That's the education committee. We got the education committee stuff now.
Yeah.
Okay,
Got a hand.
good.
Yeah,
I'm gonna call you, you said.
earlier you mentioned about,
Yes, sir.
a mediation that was taking place, and you
Excuse me,
talked
man, I
about,
don't
maybe I
mean to
should be
interrupt,
addressing this
But
to
I'm
Brother Leroy.
overstayed by at least a half hour.
Yes,
Okay.
All right,
I'm sorry.
peace, listen, I appreciate y'all, man.
We appreciate you.
We are our own solution.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Again, what I wanted to know simply is, do we have a update on that mediation, or is it still ongoing, or?
Well, the update on it is, next Saturday, we're trying to do some more of it this Saturday. But one of the persons that we're mediating for, called me this morning and said he has, daddy duty. So daddy duty prevents him from being here. But they made a commitment that one of the parties is gonna be here next Saturday.
Okay, good.
And the uncle who was one of the initiators of it, also I talked to him this morning. So hopefully next Saturday we would have one of the parties that's involved here next Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna keep it moving. Now to me this is exciting. Our concept thus far, and I had to give us a hand for being self-sufficient through our own contribution. Everything that we've done, incorporating the merchandise, the donations, everything we've been doing so far, and even the money we paid down for the banquet hall for our fundraiser in July the 12th, we haven't had to go outside of ourselves to get any money from anybody but ourselves. And I think that's commendable, because so many times we start out looking for outside sources, but like we trying to do for self and make this sort of a self-sufficient organization. And with that, I went over some things that's on the fundraising level, because we already got the, for those who don't have it, I'll walk through this here. This document. What's going on here? Okay. My mouse seemed to be stuck. Okay. Well, I'm not gonna let that stop us. It's those who got it, those who don't, you could get together with somebody who do. This is the one I'm gonna have to use until I can get this mouse to move. I don't know what's going on with that. Hold on.
Oh, there you go. It's being passed around.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Okay, somebody
There
needs
you
that. They could get this.
Okay.
You need this, James? Somebody could get this. I could use the. Okay, what we did, a fundraising committee, boots on the ground, action plan for the first 90 days, which we already been doing most of this already. Members will purchase the coordinated uniform, for lack of a better term. And right now we're in the warmer season, so we got the hats. The t-shirts is $10. The hats is $15. And that's a part of us raising funds, a part of the fundraising mechanism that we've been using. Also, we have the pledges for those who afford. We have different monthly levels of pledges, which is 150, 20, and 10, whatever you can afford. If you can't afford nothing, don't even worry about it. But this is for those who have the wherewithal for these different pledges on a monthly basis. And then we have raise funds at at the BMCCP call out. Now, at the call out, we're gonna be selling our merchandise. That's gonna help us with some fundraising. And this is a discussion that we're gonna have. I was thinking that we have a collection at the call out to get support from those who come to the call out. You know when you go to church, you go to temple, you go to last year, you go play
Pass the hat, baby.
pass the hat, because it'll help us support ourselves.
Excellent idea.
Everybody agree with that?
Yes, good idea.
Okay.
That's something else. Jump in there.
That's in there. I'll get it. Yeah, go ahead, Tyrone.
I was going to throw in the air. Either we pass it out or we just have something stationary so they can give as they go about. That's just a thought. Because some people do pass it out. But then some people got a box over here. You want to give something, you designate it to the boxes or jug at the table, whatever. That's just a thought.
But we're gonna have somebody who know how to we're gonna have somebody get on that mic
You know how to get that money.
and know how to have people enthusiastic about going in their pocket and saying, "Hey, I got to contribute." Okay.
Hit the heart. Hit the
All
heart.
right. So we got the old school cabaret, and we already talked about this prior, and we do have the banquet hall, which is Treasure Banquet Hall, and the date that we have is July the 12th, which is a Friday. And we call it the old school cabaret, and I think you'll be excited once we see where we're going at with that. And I always say this, like some people might say $50 is too much, $25, $30, but for a fundraiser for $50, that's pretty low for fundraisers. So, but you'll see where we're going at with this. And I broke down what I call estimated potential. Potential and estimated, pretty much in the same category.
Estimated potential funds.
Yeah, from the above fundraiser, right? Now, members will purchase. This is this here with uniform and other. So we do. I did 500. Just estimate 500 T-shirts at $10. That's $5,000. Hats at $15, 500. That's $7,500. Because remember, we're looking for 500 people.
Right.
And thinking positive, we're gonna get 500 people.
That's right.
And 500 people gonna get, they're gonna spend $10 for a T-shirt and $15 for a hat.
Yep.
So that gives us $12,500. Okay, due for self in-house membership pledges, concerts. So I just did this. If we get 50 people to give $100, we already got 3 or 4 or 5 already doing that. So we get 50 people give $100 a month. 200 people give $50 a month. 20 people give 150 people give $20 a month, and 100 people get $10. That's $19,000 a month, right? And you say 19 times 3, 19,000 times 3 months. That's $57,000. Okay, raise funds at BNC call out. I estimate about $3,000.
There you go.
Okay. All right. Estimated potential funds from above fundraisers. The uniform, $12,500. In-house membership,
You
$57.
didn't do the cabaret.
Oh, the cabaret. Okay, excuse me, cabaret. Tickets, $50 time. The place holds 750 people. So we sell the place out. That's $37,500. Chances at $5 per chance, time 1,000. That's $5,000. 50-50 drawing, estimated about $1,000. We get 500 of the 50-50 drawing. So that's $43,000. $43,000. That's just at the old school cabaret.
Okay, there you go.
Okay. Now we got here, estimated potential funds from the above fundraisers. Okay, $12,500 from the uniforms, $57,000 for the 3 months from pledges and from membership, $3,000 from the call out, and $43,000 from the old school cabaret. So that's $115,500. Cost to BMCC for above estimated fundraiser. T-shirts at $5 a t-shirt, that's how much we paying per t-shirt. That costs us $2,500. Hats at $10 per, that costs us $5,000. Banquet hall was $2,200. Entertainment, $3,000. Miscellaneous, $2,300, and I explained that to you. Chances prize is $600. That's a 50-inch flat screen TV, $100, and $100 for second prize and $50 for third prize. So we estimated that about $600. And the print tickets, we say about $300. The print of the tickets, we had to print the tickets for the cabaret, and we had to print tickets for the chances. So we estimated about $300. So total expenses for all of this, what we have here, would be $15,900. Now the entertainment, I'm in the process of signing the intruders, right?
Good choice.
The intruders for old school cabaret, intruders Philadelphia, old school cabaret. You couldn't get a better one.
Yeah.
Also, Kofi has also talked to Al Chestnut, and they're willing to do a song.
They're willing to do their Stop the Violence song. It's a slammer.
Okay, and we got our brother Darryl there who's gonna do his song, right? So, and then when you look at the 2,300 miscellaneous, of course we want to have some hors d'oeuvres. We want to have something also there that we can, because old school cabaret, some of these young people might not know what an old school cabaret is. That's when you bring your own food and your own bottles, whatever your like is in that area. But we want to have at least some type of smorgasbord that we can also have some water, some juice, and something also to add to those to the event. And and then you got the DJ and you got other stuff that's already entwined in it. But when you look at our pocket costs for these events, you see we'll walk away being able to be at the end of this 90 days and all these activities, we'd be pretty much financially independent to do what we need to do. Like we was talking earlier at my son and we was talking when we was at the cleanout. If we want to put trash baskets on these corners, we ain't got to ask nobody. We could go in our own Putin reserve and put trash bags wherever we want. Mm-hmm. And we're gonna have to create a website. So there's other things that's gonna be needed as we continue, but this give us the financially independence to be financially independent to move forward. So that's what I have presented today as our fundraiser for the 90 Boots on the Ground. Gamal?
Yeah, I just want to mention the proprietor of Treasures, through the creator, has helped us out by giving us an $800 discount on the building. Normally it would be $3,000 for the whole total building. But I know him, we grew up together, and this is his donation or assistance or contribution in helping us do what we do.
We're gonna thank him.
I just want to mention.
And when you look at that, if we reach half of that,
Right.
it'll help us to be independent. Because even like this here, and of course we got Project Uplift in the pipeline. If we had to pay somebody to write up proposals and stuff like that, we ain't going with our hat in our hands. We're gonna be standing up straight, being what we got to do.
Right.
So any more discussion on the proposed estimate potential on the fundraisers? Okay.
Can I go back to one thing?
Go ahead.
On the proposal for the call out.
Okay.
Section 5, you got black businesses are willing to partner with us by providing selective items. I know a few black businesses. Are we charging them or we just having them come out to set up?
No.
No.
We would just, we
We just want them to come out.
no, listen. We wanna make sure we don't be diverted from why the meeting is there.
Okay.
So if somebody wanna get water, if somebody wanna donate sodas,
Okay, yeah.
bean pies, or something like that, yeah.
That's gonna divert us from what?
Yeah, we just looking for stuff because we don't wanna, get so extravagant that people come in and forget, because remember, we trying to collect data.
Right.
That, our goal, this whole event is to get people to say yes and give us your data, and then we can use the data to do what we want to do with boots on the
See,
ground.
over at that table, we ain't at our table giving us.
And then the only thing we want to sell there is our T-shirts and hats.
Yes, yeah,
Right.
that's it.
Okay, so, right, to make our goal, so.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think, that's a good conversation. We had this discussion before, I believe. And we said that right now, it will be to our best interest to focus in what we're trying to do, instead of having vending trucks and all that kind of stuff, because it would divert from our primary purpose.
Yes, but.
There was one thing we just say in reference to vending, is if we know somebody got a food truck that could be outside, because if we talking about
Oh, that's a long
all
day.
day long, then if they have a food truck like the Jamaicans guys or somewhere, people could go out. That way it don't disturb what we doing inside,
Right.
but people still have access to some food. Yeah.
And we probably would ask them to donate to our cause.
Without question.
See, brother Kobe, we on the same page.
On the same page. Because if it's Jamaica, his payment to me could be a curry goat platter, I'm telling you right now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what else we got? Kofi, you wanna talk about the PR marketing?
Yes. You want to put the plan up? As you know, we've had this, we put the plan up before and passed it out. Just want to go over it again and just be able to give you updates to where we are, because we're making great progress as it relates to the PR campaign for the call. So I wanted people to be aware. Oh, could you go back to the, before we get to that, could you go back to the document itself? Say what?
You gotta do that over.
All right.
You gotta do that over. I'm scared myself.
All right, just to go over the campaign again. All right. Again, our campaign is in 3 phases. The first phase we're already doing, word of mouth. You need to continue that. Tell everybody you know. All right, boots on the ground. Now we've got a date, May the 11th in Hotel, 10 to 3. Right, that's, you can give that information out now. Word of mouth, okay, is our first piece. Palm cards. We just sat with Maymuna and to start her to design the palm card. We will have the first draft of the palm card by the end of next week. We'll be able to share that on next Saturday's meeting in terms of what the palm card looks like, and that we're going to be handed out, and then we'll be able to approve that and then be able to get it printed. The brother, what's his name? He was just here earlier, gave the paper.
Yusef.
No. The health brother, the brother,
Gordon,
Gordon.
what's his name? I always mess his name up.
Yeah,
man.
Gordon. Well, Gordon has volunteered to give us paper, right, and cardstock, right, for the palm cards.
Okay.
So we just need to be able to identify a printer who's willing to be able to take the paper, so it's less cost on us. Right. So, but he has been. He has. Excuse me, y'all. No. Thank you. He has committed to be providing as much cardstock as we need to be able to make the palm card. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, so that's going to save us. All right, and then we have not went out to the local papers, and again, being that we're self-sufficient, adds equal story. So when we start to, after we complete, now that we've got the date, now we'll be able to create our story. Then we'll be able to go to the local papers, the Scoop. We're going to talk to her because this sister is like killing it, who's taking over for Sonny Driver. We're going to go to her and other local papers and say, look, we'll buy a small ad. We need you to put our story in your paper. Right? Okay, the call out. So that's our theme and process of how we're going to be able to get this done. Phase 2, created commercials from data now from the song. For those of you who hadn't heard the song, Darryl wrote, the song, everybody here know the song Slam, right? Okay, so we're using that as the base of the marketing, right? Okay, now I didn't know when he brought it today so you can hear it again, but we're going to use that as the basis of the 30-second and 60-second. Now that we have the date and the location, now I'm going ahead and write the 60-second commercial spot and the 30-second commercial spot. And again, Rick Ford, who is a part of our team, who hasn't been able to be here because he teaches classes on Saturday, has agreed after those 30-second, 60 spots are done, he's going to run them through all the radio stations. Pilot, iHeartRadio, Radio 1, WRD, across the board, so we'll be able to get that advertisement on the radio, and most likely it's going to be for free. Okay, all right, based on our mission. All right, so that's what that is. We're also creating a 30-second short video that we're going to be able to give to you on the link on your phone, so that when you're out recruiting, you can say, look here, brother, you need to come to this. Click, right, and it go right there, right? There you go. All right, okay, so you're going to be able to do that, right? The other thing that we've done this morning, as we met with Maymuna this morning, she is when she comes back and we show you the palm card design that's been done, she's also is giving us a social media plan, right? In terms of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and how we're going to utilize that to drive people to our YouTube channel. Right, and on the YouTube channel, the other thing that is being created with the song is a video based on all of the great footage that Najee has collected, right? That is going to be the overlay of the song. He will edit all of that onto the song, so when people go to drive people to the YouTube channel, they'll be able to see the song in its entirety. Now, the other phase that we did was to be able to 7 testimonies. We took 6 last week. The only ones left to do is stand, right? We took 6 testimonies. You want to put that up now? Okay. Six testimonies from some of you brothers that are in here. Again, people are coming to the table that have these capabilities to edit, to be able to put the right things on the information that was taken. So here is the, we're only gonna play a couple of them, cause y'all talked a long time.
I killed the battery.
Yeah, you killed it?
Oh, you said,
Okay.
I ain't got enough.
So-
I said, go ahead.
Let's
Start with Hazrat.
Let's start with Hazrat. Hazrat was on point.
Progress for the black man. There's been a lot of organizations. There's many community council meetings. Progress for the black man. There's been a lot of organizations. There's many organizations that represent the black community, but I decided to help organize this community because of the leadership. Organization and helping our younger adults, adolescents, the younger men, the younger women see real men at work. Okay. I would like to see is some of the young black African American men, women, and children change their mind state. I want us to be an example of what it is like to be a whole human being, have the integrity. I want you to also help them to understand and educate the community, our particular community, like no other culture, that we are missing, and we have a disease in our culture that can, at some point, be arrested. And then we can begin to grow. And the third thing is for them to see men at work as an example. Men at work doing the boots on the ground and the hands on deck work.
we're gonna go to the next one, because Hazrat talks about 5 more hours. So we're gonna go to the next one.
If Hazrat talk for 5, he talked for 20.
We really gonna go show small for this, because he's like, wow. Man, this, let me tell you this.
Philadelphia. Black Male Community Council, what it means to me, it's an address to the ongoing senseless violence and what have you that's going on with our youth. We understand now that ain't nobody coming to help us. We're into a paradigm of helping ourselves. We're going to identify some different aspects of different communities, some different hotspot locations, and we're going to go out and turn punk into power, and we want to use our energies to try to do something. We want to be praying, calling on the ancestors for help, and we actually want to be a presence. A lot of people are talking, a lot of people are meeting, but we want to go out to the community and be visible and available to make our elderly, our women, and our children be safe, and then we want to clean the environments up. We want to provide security for them, and we also want to get with the youth and have a mediation, so if they want to resolve some of the disputes, just to maybe curtail some of the violence that we have.
Are we gonna go to the next person?
Personally, I
No, the only thing I can tell you is the brother that was filming him, when he started filming him, his hair was black. When he got done, it was gray. I don't know what happened.
I'm one of the vice presidents of the Guardian Civic League. I'm also a former police officer, and I'm a 66-year resident of Philadelphia, this great city.
What does the Black Male Community Council mean to you?
It means a lot. It's a group of brothers coming together to finally try to get a hold of what's going on in the city with the killings and robberies and just the confusion that our young brothers and sisters are in.
Okay. Why did you join the Black Male Community Council?
I belong to several organizations. I belong to 100 Black Men of Philadelphia. I belong to the Guardian Civic League. I belong to, I can't even remember how many organizations I have belonged to, but the whole Men United for a Better Philadelphia, we're trying to just get together, like I said before, just come together, unify our resources, and pull everything together so that one group is not pulling against another group, and this group has an idea, that group has an idea, but we all have the same idea. But let's work together. Let's not waste our resources. I do not know what effects we will have, but I hope it's positive. I hope that we can change the minds and lives of young brothers.
All right, now, so everybody present, so we don't feel slighted.
Oh,
We're gonna get.
Mine real short.
Yeah, his is short. We can listen to his whole
I
spiel.
told you, mine real short.
His whole spiel.
Tyrone Young. I'm a member of the Black Male Community Council of Philadelphia. It means an opportunity to help our community. It means an opportunity for me to do some things in my community. You know, at times, I want to do some work. I want to help some people. You know what I mean? Because some things in my life, I was a destructive path, but now I'm trying to do some things different and help my community. Just people and people, a community need to know they care, that people care, that people that they see that look like them care about who they are and what they are and what they're doing in their life. You know what I mean? Just something real simple.
Yes. Real short.
Wow.
Real short.
Tyrone Young. I'm a member of the Black Male Community Council.
I can get some gray out of this one.
Jamel's ain't too long either.
What does the Black Male Community Council mean to you?
It means a platform where you have a chance to clean up your community, to protect the children, the women and the elders, and learn how to interface with the other people that's in the community.
Tell me, why did you join the Black Male Community Council?
Because I was I want to help. I want to give back. Because I see the destruction in our communities. We build a lot of bridges. We build a lot of walls, but not enough bridges.
What effect do you think the Black Male Community Council will have on the community?
Well, when you start seeing people cleaning up their community, and they come out the door and see a clean community, they tend to want to protect that community. They tend to want to take care of that community and nurture the community into the gardens of peace and nonviolence that it should be. Basically, overall, everything, the mediation, the security, to make sure everything is running properly.
How do you think this will affect the community?
Well, it all depends on how they receive us and the interfaces, they're interacting with the community. Once they see people are coming in not trying to start anything but actually clean up the neighborhood, you know, then it's a little different than somebody just coming in the neighborhood saying, hey, stop doing this and stop doing that. That's not what we're about. We're about peace. And we're about cleaning the neighborhood up block by block. Keeping a clean neighborhood, keeping a safe neighborhood, and keeping a peaceful neighborhood.
That's awesome.
That's
yeah.
So just so you know that when these pieces go up on Facebook and Twitter, they're going to be shortened, very short. It's only going to be 30 seconds, right? But our social media guru that we had this morning said that's what we need to do for social media and Twitter. So social media and Twitter is there, and Instagram is there to drive people to the YouTube channel, in which these interviews will be up in their entirety on the channel. So now the people will be able to see the interviews, they'll be able to see the roundtables, and we're going to start those roundtables up again because we need to be consistent with that. We've only got like 3 in the can.
We got 3.
We got 3 in the can, and we need to get more, right, in the can. So I'm hoping that one of those roundtables that hey beloved, there's a brother that did the interviews last week, all right, hey. And who is also doing the 60-second and 30-second commercial and is laying everything over your piece, all right. So we really appreciate my man's big smiles. Okay, so at any rate, so I mean that's pretty much the plan in terms of how we're moving these things forward. I'm hoping that we'll be able to even get an interview from Brother Anthony if you're willing, right? Mr. Rodney was here last week, week before last, and he also agreed to do a spot, right? So and as many of the, even some of the, and then we're going to pinpoint, because what I was so impressed about with all of those that spoke, there was at least 2 or 3 profound statements in each segment, right? Like when Jamel, thank you very much. Jamil said that we're a community that's peace and it should be peace and something, and
he spoke a lot about peace.
He talked a lot about, and then his last statements, right? They were very profound, right? And there were certain things that Hazrak said, and Jamil as well. Everybody said some things that was just really succinct. So we want to use those kind of catchphrases, right, on that 30-second piece, right? That'll be strong. So people say, "Well, I need to go look. Let me go to their YouTube channel and check out the whole thing."
And just to interject, what he said is what I experienced today. That's why I was so excited, because what I experienced today at 16th and Week in Hawkins was exactly what Jamil was talking about. So he talked about it, but today I actually experienced it.
Okay. So in terms of our marketing piece, could you put the marketing piece back up? Okay. I think that we're on target.
What does the Black Male Community Council mean to you?
It means a platform where you have a chance.
Okay, so now here as I said, we have our social media plan moving to take place, We've got our interviews. We'll have the 30-second and the 60-second information completed. I will give that to Brother Smiles by the beginning of Monday or Tuesday of this week. That'll be completed. So then we'll be able to move forward in terms of the rest of the plan and be able to get our stuff on radio, get our stuff on social media. And again, this is what's really important. Word of mouth. And then when we finally get the palm cards, the strategic places that we go to be able to put the palm cards is going to be key. So we're going to need boots on the ground to distribute the 10,000. I'm hopefully that we do more than 10,000. If we need to find a printer, because this brother's going to give us the paper, the stock. We need to find a printer that will use the paper so it'll cut down on our expenses. Then we can get 20,000. Yeah.
Yes, well, I know a printer that have prior experience with different organizations. It's right down the street, DocuCare. And maybe we need to talk to him because he gives the community nice prices.
Well, all we need is a printer that will say, we can say to him, look, we have our own paper.
Yeah,
will you print it at just a print of the cost of the print? Right, that way, then we can cut a real nice deal, and we might be able to get 20,000, 30,000 palm cards done, and then it's about the distribution, right? Now, where I had success in my past programs that I ran in terms of organizing and bringing people to the table, again, family court, that's where we are. Probation office,
okay.
That's where we are. And of course, we want to hit the college campuses and specific places that we know that African American people are working, particularly males.
Were we at the parking authority? We had the ticket, are we down?
Right. So and then we want to be able to focus in on. We could holler at Jeff Brown or what's the? There's a Muslim brother that works with Jeff that's running for.
Samir ain't doing too good. Yeah. Samir usually be the one who works with. You know Sabir Muhammad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's not doing too good health-wise.
Right.
But there's another brother, a brother named Omar, the guy that's running for light-skinned brother that's running for
Oh, you talking about heavy-set brother?
Yeah. He's running for somebody's office, but he also has a connection to Jeff Brown. Anybody else?
Omar Sabir?
Huh?
Sabir?
Yeah. Right. He also has a connection to Jeff Brown. Anybody in here that may have a connection to somebody at either a ShopRite or Acme or Cousins, want to be able to go somewhere that we can say, look, here's 5,000 palm cards, stick them in everybody's bag. All right. Okay. So that is grassroots distribution. And then and we need everyone in here to be able to take, when we get these palm cards, to take the palm cards and give them to the right people. Right, so we can target. We have a great target in terms of additional getting our numbers there. Now we average 20 to 25 guys every week that come here. Right, look around the room. Right, okay. Now when we give, these are some quick flyers that we can hand out. But if everyone here could at least make an attempt to have 10 men come to the call out, whether it be your uncle, your cousin, your nephew, whatever that is, your neighbor next door. If you can make an attempt to have 10 men, you bring 10 men to the call out. That's 300 guys right there.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that I'm doing, not to cut you off, is I forget sometimes. So a lot of people came to me today at that thing and asked me, how do I get involved with this? So I got their card, so I'm creating on my phone individual people. So I won't forget somebody. As soon as they tell me they want to be a part of it, I put them on my list. I just making a list of it, so when I go to that, I won't forget nobody. Even I gotta write it down or put it on my phone or whatever. I'm building up a list.
And what we could also do, once we get the palm cards, you can actually take a picture and you could use it as a text to brothers who you know that might be interested. Right. So we'll be using all these techniques. Also, we want to be able to put the palm cards in churches, masjids, and places like that. And I hope to be able to talk to Pastor Hall or someone So we might be able to have an audience with the black clergy and also with the Master Shore. Because, you know, they have an audience of a lot of males on a consistent basis that might be able to you know, say to them, I know like Pastor Hall, no problem, but you know, that's a great structures that we know a lot of men is in. And if the pastor say we're gonna pass them out or give us a shout out, then you know that'd be good also, because I believe that Imhotep holds about 700, 800 people, right? So if we only looking for 500, so if we get 700, the other 200 we ain't worried about. We just want to get 5 out of the 7, and we happy. You see what I'm saying? So I think we're gonna have a great successful call out. But like we putting together, at least we ain't leaving everything to chance.
Right.
So the more we work on it, the more we know we're gonna have a successful call out. Yeah.
So, any questions?
Let me just explain one. Now, you know, sometimes I wake up 4 o'clock in the morning and stuff come to me, and this one came to me 4 o'clock in the morning one morning. So I figure I'll put these out. These are just quick handouts that you can just give to somebody who you know that might be interested. So that's basically what this is. You know, and like I said, I put the stuff in there that's grab them by their spirit. Because you see 4 brothers with guns to their head, that's a message. Yeah, so that's what that is.
So, any questions as it relates to the campaign, PR campaign, suggestions? Yes, you.
I just want to make a comment, an observation, if you may. You know, WURD, Word Radio, right? Stan and Brother Zachariah was on there, one of the shows, I think it was the Rapping Professor show. Then the show that just happened the weekend on Brother Najee's show. Also, on Brother Rick Ford's show. So it's a small PR generating with WURD. And I like the talk show phenomenon. I'll be on there and I'm gonna be saying so. Every time I get a chance to say something about BMCC, I always throw it in there.
Wow, great.
So that radio station is kind of kind to us. I just want to.
Yeah, now that we have before we actually put it out on the air, let me just get one more confirmation. And once we get that one little more confirmation, we can go talk on the air. Anybody, we got a date and a location. So once before we do that, I just want to make sure that I talk to Mama Debbie and she cleared what she had to clear, and we could move on. And now we got a date and a location. Yeah,
See, I know Stan said that for me because I'm a servant. I would go ahead and say it.
Yeah,
we
don't want to
fall back from there, huh?
Yeah, we don't want to put the cart before the horse.
Hey, I saw the interviews, right? Now I want to say, when y'all do the next interview, will we have a logo in the background? So once you pull it up on the face, whatever, the YouTube and all that, to have your the Black Male Community logo.
We should have had this here.
Background,
Before when we go.
You'll have that.
Before we go on social media, the tag, we will have the logo,
Special location.
and we'll have all that written, as well as
I get a banner made.
okay, that'll work.
Yeah, I
but
get a banner made.
but it's in terms of, I don't know if we could put the banner as a backdrop on the what has already been taken, but at least what I've talked to a Smiley about is that even on interviews, those 30 seconds that are going to pop up on social media, he will introduce who he is and the organization, give the date and the time of the call out, and then ask the question. Then whatever that little snippet that's going to be said by that person will be done then, and that's what is going to be on social media, Twitter and Instagram, again, to drive everything to the YouTube. Now, I think that we get the banner done. In terms of YouTube, we need to get Najee to put the banner and information on the call out as the first kind of commercial piece that when people go to the YouTube, that's the first thing people will see. So, and I think
I
that,
said that because I wore that last week when it was here, but somebody asked me about what is that with them hands on the back and all that. I said it's just, black men moving. I understand that, they read what it was, but I didn't. The people who was asking me, okay, they were them people. But I said what I said. You know what I mean?
what do you mean those people? Was they white people?
They're Caucasian, Jack.
Yeah, they're white people. Great. I'm glad they're asking.
Right.
That's a beautiful thing.
I'm all around that. That's what I do.
Right,
I'm all in there, that's me, and that's them.
Right.
I'm all in there.
Yeah, right. Nothing wrong with being all up in there.
Yeah, bro.
Black men standing up.
Yeah.
Got a problem with it?
No,
No, I asked you, you got a problem with it?
Trust me, yeah.
Crack ass, cracker, you got a problem with it?
Hey, I got a quick question. I don't
We
want
didn't
to.
put that on you.
That's in house, baby. That's in house
He shot the gun, the bullets out the chamber.
It's too late.
That's okay, go ahead.
It's one thing that I wanna put in the air, and I don't wanna put the cart before the horses. Maybe something we might have went over already that I might have missed that meeting. The call out, when we do the call out, are we gonna have meetings? How are we gonna set it up when these people come in? We're gonna have different locations. Are we gonna have a meeting just for that?
Well, actually, from here on out, that's what every meeting gonna be about.
Okay.
From here on out, the meetings is the call out. We just now that we got a location, a date, we did a lot of the groundwork. So now the next all these meetings from here on out is gonna be action item meetings and meetings around the call out.
Yeah. So even Stanley said to the people at Inhotep for us to have a walkthrough.
Right.
So then we know where to be able to set this up, set that up,
Security
right?
up.
Right, and set the security up, all that. And the plan that we're asking Maymuna to devise, I didn't say this to her, but now that you just said that, we can even create a diagram in terms of how things are set up, so that at least we have that. So those key people, particularly in security, so all of those things will be covered.
Okay.
So you on point?
I'm trying to do my best, man.
Yeah, you on point.
I just see it's getting some. No, that's not.
And please,
that's me thinking.
no,
As soon as they come in, they gonna see everything that says boots on the ground. They gonna say, "What's boots on the ground?" That's us. It's boots on the ground.
yes, sir.
Okay, I know it's 4 o'clock, I know we have to get ready to get out of here.
Yeah.
For something, for interest, the Afro-American Showcase is coming up real fast.
Yes.
Do we have a table, or are members of the committee have a table? The Guardian Civic League have a table. I wanna have information to pass out to the
Okay.
folks as they come through.
But the
Okay.
podcast should be done by then.
All right,
Now, when is everything? When is this?
that's Easter weekend.
Easter weekend.
the
No,
20th
we'll
and the
definitely have a
21st.
podcast by then.
Okay, and also, I sent out a text about an hour ago. Did anyone get it?
I got it.
You got it? Did you make it? Okay. Drexel University has a program, but you have to make the contact with the the victim assistance officer by Monday or Tuesday, because it's coming up fast. They have a 6-week program for anyone who have been, any males between the ages of 18 and 30 who's been victimized or have some kind of horrible thing happen in their life. Okay, homicide, robbery, a beating. Okay, they're going to do a 6-week program. They're going to pay them to come to class 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday, from 9 to 3. And then after the program, they're going to invite them into another program where they can work as an internship into recruiting helping other young black males who have problems. Okay, and did you read the telephone number out?
The telephone number is 215-686. Is this the one? That's a single
Yes,
number.
that's the one.
3065. And this is a person we might have had met at that meeting. Remember we were at the meeting with Michael and
Yes.
This probably him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you say that they wanted to come to our meeting? The brothers that was there, that was
From the nation. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I what I'm gonna try to do, remember to do, is I'm gonna send this text out to everybody on a group text. Like I sent out another, I'll copy it, paste it, and then send it out to everybody in case someone have someone to the. But there was something else I forgot. We was at a meeting with workforce development, and there was some brothers there from the Philadelphia Mass Year, and on April the 27th they having a program, and they inviting us to that particular program, which is another opportunity for us to do our reach out PR campaign that they having wrapped around the violence and stuff like that. So they invited us out. So I'll make a copy of that for next week, bring it, because we got a little time before that actually take place. But that's another event that we want to be present, because that gives us more exposure and we have more people to share about the call out. I think that's it. If anybody else got something else.
Yeah, Sister Bilal, she's having a fundraiser. I think it's coming up.
Is it today?
Today.
Okay.
It's a Fish Fry today, yes.
Where's it at?
You have the information?
Circles, I'm sorry, just give me a moment, okay? I was at
Mike
two
is
meetings
looking
today.
for all the information, and we can get some help with cleaning up so we can get up out of here. We appreciate it. I know I'm missing something, but it's okay. We'll get enough for today. Hey, Brother Anthony,
Yes.
Brother George.
Yes, sir.
Listen, man, I'm telling you, man, you know what I always try to do? I pick up on energy, right? And energy is something that we be mindful of, because sometimes we might be absent from a place and not realize that energy we bring to a place is also absent, right? So what I'm saying to you guys brought a good energy, and we appreciate it.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Do we go through your emails and information?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great.
Okay, and Rochelle's fundraiser is going to be at Circles Bar, 4800 North Broad Street, and it's going to be from 5 to 8.
Okay.
And the tickets are like $10.
Okay. Anybody else got anything else before we part the ways? Okay, if not.
Now, we'll be here again next Saturday. And please tell anybody that you know that was not here to get here next Saturday.
Yes, sir.
Boots on the ground, all hands on deck.
You should
$40 t-shirt.
All right, no problem. Yeah. You see? All right, thank you, man. Thank you.
They look better on you than on me.
Oh, no.
Call out right in front.
Of course, it's a